Okay, so I think a lot of you are keeping your, once you've cut your piece, you're trying to weed it on here because you're like, oh, this helps the backing stick. And it does. That's fine. Me personally, I don't like that my hand is sticking to it. I don't like that it's going to get full of lint. Me personally, just take this off. You don't need it. I'll teach you a trick. Get some masking tape and I'll teach you how to mask that down so that it stays down, so that you don't have to do it on the board. So, what you're gonna do, see if we can get this whole thing in here. This is the first time filming anything. Sorry if this is not super straight or it's real wiggly. So what you're gonna do is kind of just tape down on the four corners like this. And the best trick for text, I have actually found some old text that I had cut a long time ago that I wanted to show you guys. So I have like less thinky, more drinky, and what does this say? Drunken grown-ups. I have a couple in here that have really small text. That's kind of small. Here we go. That is super small text. So I'll show you how to weed that. It is really difficult, but I'll show you how to do it. Just do this nice and slow. Take your time with it. You're not in a rush, hopefully. The best way to cut text, I don't know if you can see, it says love is a, and then four-legged word. So the best way to weed text is from the top right corner down to the bottom left corner. I don't know why. I think it has to do with like when you go in with these E's, it just pulls it out of there rather than breaking off. But when you're going to do that, what I do is I take my razor blade, I very, very gently just cut. I kind of just score the vinyl. I'm not cutting all the way through. You don't want to push down real hard because you want this to keep your paper down, but you need to be able to cut the vinyl off. So I'm just lightly scoring the vinyl. And then, like I said, I don't use picks. I just use my razor blade. Pick that up. All right, so this is another thing. You have this whole entire piece, right? And if you start to peel this off, then once you've peeled this corner up and you get down here, you're gonna have like 8 pieces that you're trying to hold on to. So instead of trying to do it all in once, cut it into sections. You're gonna just lightly score in between. I have a dog face and then love is a four-legged word. You're just gonna lightly cut these apart so that you can kind of do it section at a time. So now I can do this. So the best way to do this is what I do. So I take my left hand, I'm right-handed, I take my left hand, I try to pull this back. You can, if you pull up like this, it's gonna tend to bring your sticker up with you. So what you wanna do is kind of like fold it back and try to keep a nice tight kind of edge like that. Comes right off. That's a really easy shape. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure that other things are a lot more difficult, but that's the easiest way to do it. As for the letters, same kind of thing. So you just separate that. Oh, here, I wasn't showing you. Separate that because I cut them apart. And then, all right, so see right here, my letter came up. That's the part that I want to take off. My letter accidentally came up. So if that happens, see how I have it kind of like pulled back? If that happens, just roll it back on. Grab your razor blade, and your razor blade can kind of hold it down. There you go. And then for that inside part of this A, you can kind of rock it back and forth and it'll come up. Same with this S. That tip came off. There we go. To get the other side of the S, I'm just going to pull up. Make sure my dot for my eyes there. My E started to come up. You'll start to see the letters. And actually, let's see on this next one. Cool. I did pull up. let me show you. If this gets too long, just start crumpling it up so it's easier to deal with. I want to show you. Can you see? You can see where the V was cut. You can see where the letter V is supposed to be, but it's stuck right here on this vinyl. So I need both hands to show you this. But if you look really closely on your actual paper where it cut off of, you can usually see the outline of the words. So let's say you go like this and your V accidentally comes off, and then you're like, oh no, I have this V, oh no. You can see where that V is supposed to go. So what I do, this is super, super sticky vinyl. This isn't the Oracle vinyl, this is really sticky vinyl. What I usually do, take my trusty razor blade, and you just get the angle of the lighting right, and just put it right back where those lines are. And then kind of just lightly push it down. You don't have to push it down too hard because it'll just fall off. But I got it right back where it's supposed to be. Can start back with this. My L started to come up, so I just pull that off. There we go. Love is A. Then at this point, if you want, you can take out these things. Okay, here's the other part. I've seen videos where people are like, take this off, and then every single time come back and put it in a thing or on a thing or in a like, just grab it with your finger, pull it off. Then you got them all stuck on your finger, and at the very end, when you're all done, you just rip them off your finger and put them in the trash. Let them pile up on your finger. It's a lot easier to grab. I'm telling you, we have to do stickers at sign shops. We'll have to do, somebody will order 150 or 1,000 of these, and you have to sit there and do all of them. It's a pain in the butt. So another thing you can do, I'm going to cut this apart so I can do those separately. Another thing you can do to kind of help see what you're doing is take these out first. So if you want to see kind of the faster edge of it. Oh, here's another thing. Can you see that G? So if I go like this and I start to pull it down, that's the sticky side. Just touch it with your finger. It lifts up off the page. You don't actually have to you don't have to actually pull these off so meticulously with your blade. Just curl it back a little bit. Here. Just go like this and then grab it with your finger, and it stays on your finger. And then, like I said, once you're done with that, here, there's one more or two more. One in Word. There you go. Once you're done with that, now you're left with the rest of the text. I just rolled it off my finger. Here's all those little insides. See how easy that is? It's so much easier. Okay. Then, like I said, separate that. Get it separate so you're just dealing with just this part. Hold this in your left hand. Look, my E already started to come off, and I can just tell. So I just pick it off like that. You don't even have to worry about pushing it down because it'll go back down. So when you get to an area like this where this just ripped, this needs to all come out. When it rips, see if you can pull down on here, and it'll just come off. Oh, perfect. My phone's still recording. My battery's low. If it rips again, just let it fully rip. Who cares? It's okay. You can leave it and go back for it, you know, pretend that just ripped off and I couldn't get it. It was just too hard. My hands are full. They're full of sticky. Just leave it. You can do it later. One thing that is helpful is you can see how both of these ends are coming in. That is helpful for getting your words to just see how that R just came right out as I was pulling it. So it's kind of effortless. If you're doing it the right way, the letters will just stay for you. And you can just peel this background off. My U just started to come off. Can you see where the U is supposed to be cut? You can see that cut line, okay? So that's one way to know that you're missing a letter. Sometimes what also helps is if you put your finger at the top of my fingernail down and then peel back. I'm pulling it back with my thumb over my finger. Your finger kind of helps push it down. There's that. So see how I just pushed that O through with my left hand? I don't even have to use my right hand to push this down. I can literally just do it with my left hand. Same with the F. You can kind of push it down, push your finger through. They're all on there. this. So don't worry about being too perfect with it. If something falls off, just go slow and then you can replace it. Here's the last one. See, my D started to come off. I can just use my finger like that. Oh, I accidentally cut that off. Oh well. Well, I set this at the wrong. I didn't put it down low enough for what the machine said it was going to be cutting, but that's my fault. Oh well, I should have cut it about an inch lower. So give yourself maybe an inch lower, just in case the machine is cutting off, so that it doesn't cut off your word. I don't really care because I'm just showing